that.
Yeah.
It's a good transition.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because for 18 months, no one could diagnose what I had. And I literally...
What were you presenting with?
What were doctors telling me?
No, what were you experiencing?
I just started, I couldn't swallow properly. I was trying to eat food and it couldn't go down. And so, like I said, the nerves and muscles do not work. So anything I eat has to be, there has to be a lot of liquid that goes down.
There are viruses that can do this, right?
Yeah, well, I'm convinced it's autoimmune.
Or whatever.
Well, I'm
some
convinced
sort of
I had an incredibly unhealthy gut.
Yeah.
And it attacked itself.
Yeah.
And so I've had the Heller myotomy. This is a specific surgery where they've gone in and I had 2 arthroscopic surgeries. So they went in and sliced my esophagus to try to give me relief. Those didn't work. Those failed. And then the last one I had
myotomy or myomectomy?
No, it was called a POEM, P-O-E-M. Yeah. And then the last one I had was the Heller myotomy. And what they basically did was pull the esophagus straight, cut 25% of my stomach, wrapped it around the esophagus, stapled me all together. And that wrap will come undone. Yeah. And then I've only really got one more shot after that.
Did it work?
It has given me stability for the first time. But that didn't solve the core problem. And so when I made this moonshot, I said, well, first of all, I got to figure out the core problem. And so I went in and got every test done possible. Blood tests, poop tests, urine tests, everything I could imagine. And the doctors came out and were like, oh my God, your gut is horrible. Like look at me. I'm very skinny, right? So, maybe it's called skinny fat or whatever. But I was just really unhealthy. And I didn't know it because I have a fast metabolism. And certain foods that you're going to be able to eat, all the steak you're eating right now.
Right.
I just can't eat that.
I bet.
And my gut can't handle it. So I found out there were a lot of foods I was not tolerant to, like dairy and corn and soy.
Did you have celiac?
No. But I ate dairy every day of my life, and I didn't know what was going on. So and I read a book, and I'm curious if you've read this book called The Plant Paradox by.
I just heard about it.
Dr. Gundry.
Yeah, it just hit the press recently.
He's treating me now.
I'm fascinated by that idea.
He saved my life.
Describe what that is. It's an amazing.
So basically, he is saying you have to cut out lectins in your diet.
Yeah. So it's tomatoes and.
All right. So here's the list, because if I tried to come off the top of my head.
But let's even get a further sort of a 30,000-foot view, which is he's saying plants are screwing with our immune system.
Certain
ultimately.
Plants.
I understand.
Yes.
But we are so plant enthusiastic. You know what I mean? We are, right? And I've been my whole life. I thought that's the way. Dark green vegetables, whatever. Tomatoes. I love tomatoes. He's saying that he has evidence, and it's evidence-based. This is not just some sort of screwball. Ooh. This guy's a real deal.
Yeah.
That there is at least for some people, if not for all, a basis to remove a big chunk of plants from our diet.
It's not just plants.
It's lectins.
It's lectins, and so that includes sugars, fats, dairy, soy, potatoes, corn, white flour, and healthy foods that you think. All wheat flours, grains, even a lot of nuts, nightshade vegetables.
What kind of nuts?
Cashews and peanuts.
Those are the only two I've.
That's all I've eaten my whole life.
Those are the only two I've kept in my diet. And it's funny when I added them into my little carnivore diet. I wasn't as happy.
Yeah, nightshade vegetables, all beans, and a lot of fruits.
A lot of fruits.
Because of the sugar content of the fruits.
So you're on my diet. It's essentially what I'm doing. And to keep it simple, just because it's hard for me to. I know you can't eat the meats, but for me, just keep it simple. Yeah, eggs and meat.
Totally. Food is fuel for me. That's it. Yeah. It's not really made to be enjoyed anymore, and that's just what it is.
How do you get where do you eat?
So I eat like spinach and leafy greens are totally great for you, and then avocados. Nuts like walnuts and pecans and pistachios, totally fine. Listen, I've just, now my wife and I work with cassava flour and almond flour and coconut flour. We just, we just try everything different. The dairy part is really interesting because he makes the case for A1 casein is the problem.
And what does he think's happening? What's the theory?
That American cows have tons of poisonous lectins that are attacking people's guts.
And so by lectins, what are they doing? Are they activating the immune system?
Yeah, it's a protein. And boy, you're asking. You should have him in.
Gary, let's do that. He's been in the news a lot lately.
Well, he has a new book, a cookbook out, and it's number 3 on New York Times bestseller.
Well, I just saw the headlines out of that. I'd heard of this kind of thing flying around for a while, and I thought this is interesting.
Meats. Here's what he says on meats. It has to be grass fed and finished. So that's
what's finished mean?
Well, sometimes they're grass fed with some grains and some corn and soy, and if it's finished, that means that's all they ate.
Got it.
And that you should limit it to 4 ounces of meat a day.
Oh.
And so here's the deal. So I went on this diet first to get my gut healthy. I took all these blood tests, poop tests, urine tests. I took them all before I went on the diet. I went on hardcore for 1 month or 5 weeks. When I came back, every gut test came back and everything on me had reduced.
Did you feel better?
I felt better.
Did you do anything brain?
Yes. It was the first time in 5 years I am no longer on PPIs, which are proton pump inhibitors, which are the acid reflux medication.
And you think that affected your cognition?
I don't know if it affected my cognition, but there are links to dementia long term. And I've been on, 80 milligrams a day for 5 years, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
And I am on it no longer.
Yeah.
I haven't had any acid reflux. When I'm on the diet, I have no acid reflux.
That's crazy.
It's gone.
And, interesting.
And doctors have prescribed opioids and all this stuff. And I don't do it. But what I'm saying is the Mayo Clinic, their mission. You think, my God, the Mayo Clinic is the best hospital in the world, but they see 100 patients a day. The one doctor that I go to.
Yeah.
So his thing is, he goes, look, your disease is what it is. He pats me on the back, gives me prescriptions, and sends me on my way at the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
And so I just had to think of myself, well, I've got to disrupt this.
Yeah.
So that was step one, was I got to get healthy first. And then the second was, how do I cure an incurable disease? How do I figure out a cure? And so now I'll turn it back over to you, but I'm on that path right now.
So what I would say is,